Well, hey there, and welcome to Brewed. It's our all cider show. We thought about maybe renaming the show and calling it Fermented, because, beer is brewed and cider is fermented, right? You don't brew cider.
You ferment it.
Yeah, right. But we're not changing the name of the show because that would be ridiculous for just one episode. We are here in beautiful, rainy St. Charles, Illinois. St. Charles, by the way, the patron saint of apples. That's not true. He's actually the patron saint of obesity. I looked that up on the ride over. But if he were the patron saint of apples, wouldn't that work out perfectly with what we're talking about?
It would be great.
I should introduce you to Mike and Ed. They are the father-son team kind of behind this location where we're at right now. It's at Broken Brix.
Yes.
This is a winery, a cidery, a meadery, everything but beer, although you do have beer, obviously, and we'll get to that. Broken Brix. The idea for this came about when?
So this building got condemned in 2017.
And you thought, winery.
Yeah. Well, so it got condemned due to Broken Brix on the side of the building.
Okay.
So that's kind of where our name came from. But the way we spell Brix, B-R-I-X, is a connotation for sugar. It's actually how we measure the sugar in our ferment before we ferment our cider and after we ferment our cider.
So it works on a couple different levels.
Yes.
This is a gorgeous room. When you were telling us before the cameras were rolling about the renovations that took place here, I mean, it looks gorgeous, and it's got that old school downtown feeling, right?
Yeah.
That's done intentionally.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We decided to go with some old tin tiles on the ceiling to kind of keep that old school vibe.
Now, this whole thing started a long time ago, and originally we're here in the tap room. What do you call it? Is it a tap room if you're at a
Tasting room,
tasting room, right? But there's a lot going on here, and many years ago, it was home brewing that you were doing.
Yes.
Home brewing supplies, right?
Yeah. So Ed started the home brew shop in St. Charles in 2001. And he ran that very successfully out of this location until the building started falling apart. And then while he remodeled the building, we moved across the street in a little house and ran there for about 20 months or so.
So this has always been the home brew place where you can come and get your home brew supplies.
Yes.
Until it wasn't, because again, the bricks were literally falling off of the building.
Yeah. Right.
So when you're starting this off all those years ago, and you start off with selling supplies for home brewing, is that out of a need that you yourself had, where you couldn't find the stuff that you wanted? Were you into home brewing, or did you just think, hey, maybe there's a market here, people are making their own beer?
Well, I was definitely into home brewing. I went to Siebel Institute in Chicago. It's a brewery school. Went through that in 1997, worked as a brewer for a couple of years as an assistant brewer in Glen Ellen, Illinois. And then this opportunity became available to purchase an existing business that was operated, and they're still friends of mine, by a couple of friends that had this business, but they were only doing it part-time. And they were kind of running it out of a garage and an old gas station down the road. And I just ran with it and turned it into a full-time career.
How does the work you do here with the ciders and the meads, how does that inform you as a brewer?
Fermentation is a blend of art and science. And when you
just said the magic word. We need something to come out of the ceiling whenever somebody says that. I love that you said that.
Well,
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No
but
problem.
You just made me very happy.
Okay, so the science
is the blend of
art and science.
Okay, I'm sorry. You made me so happy.
The science exists in both formats, winemaking and beer making, pretty much the same as it does. You need sugar, water, and yeast. You can get fermentation.
When someone makes their way to Broken Brix and they want a cider or a mead, what are they looking for, and what should they be looking for?
So we definitely have our own style of cider and mead making. So if they do come here and they're looking for something sweet, they'll probably find it, but I think the drier palate is more of our style.
If you're someone who doesn't like a super sweet mead, if you think it's too syrupy, if that's been your experience, this is a place that you can come. And if you want something that's super sweet, you can walk right across the street. They got a candy store right across the street. Works out perfectly. Best of both worlds.
We also have some dessert wines.
Okay.
And that will satisfy that sweet tooth, sweet palate, if you will.
We brought the show here to St. Charles last season, fell in love with the place, and we heard them talk about something called the St. Charles Six.
Correct.
Now, my first thought was that's a group of evil villains that are out to kill Spider-Man. Turns out that's the Sinister Six. The St. Charles Six is kind of a group of, it's 5 breweries and you fellas, right?
Yeah. We got in on the St. Charles Six.
Many of the breweries that have opened up in the area, not just St. Charles, but in the Chicagoland, even as far as Galena, Illinois area, they were customers here at one time. They cut their teeth at home brewing, and we were their supply shop. And then they branched out and became, the brewery, or got into the industry through starting with home brewing.
And do they come back and say thank you?
Occasionally.
Do they write? Do they write? Do they send Christmas
And
cards?
then we go and visit them, and we kind of have time to sit and chat and
So
over
it's
a beer or two.
all your fault, but also you get all the credit.
It's a community.
Right.
Even though all these breweries are independent, they all try to collaborate with each other, and that's kind of how they wanted to include us, because we've always collaborated with them, and they wanted to return, that favor.
When we show up here in St. Charles, when do we need to get here?
Fridays and Saturdays, we're here quite late, but through the weekdays, we're here at about 6.
Is there a day if we're coming we shouldn't come? Are you open 7
Monday.
days a week?
Monday, yeah.
Don't come
here
on Monday. Okay, that's what I want.
It's our only day
We're
off.
closed on Monday, so we can go have a beer at some of the other places.
That makes all the sense in the world. When you're making your trip here to St. Charles, don't come here on Monday, or it'll be your heart that's broken, not just the bricks.
Maybe they could come here, like when we're bottling, and give us a hand.
Okay, if you're willing to help out, talk to Ed or Mike, and they can make that happen. Fellas, it's just a beautiful building and
Thank you.
a wonderful part of the state, and you guys are working hard to make really important ciders and wines and meads and all of it from as local and Illinois as possible. So congratulations, keep up the good work, and thanks for having us.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. If I get an apple
Yep.
and I cut it in half,
Yep. You get a Honeycrisp apple, cut it in half.
and I Johnny Appleseed in my backyard,
Yep.
I'm not getting Honeycrisp apples.
Nope.
What am I getting?
Something.
Well, that's confusing.